Get right, church, and let's go home. Get right, church, and let's go home. Get right, church. Get right, church. Get right, church, and let's go home. I'm going home on the morning train. I'm going home on the morning train. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home on the morning train. Evening train, making too late. Evening train, making too late. Evening train, evening train. Evening train, making too late. Backpackers and get your load. Oh, backpackers and get your load. Backpackers, backpackers, backpackers and get your load. Get right, church, and let's go home. Oh, get right, church, and let's go home. Get right, church, get right, church, get right, church, and let's go home. I'm going home on the morning train. I'm going home on the morning train. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home on the morning train. Yes, sir. I'm going home on the morning train. Welcome to YouTube Live. Live streaming on YouTube. Man, I got a word for you today. I don't think you understand all that's going on out there. Living in our cozy comfort. I don't think you realize the secret death that Satan and the demonic co-conspirator, the trap. They're laying a trap, a slick trick. Better pay attention. End times 4, 5, 6, 5 is live on YouTube. Oh yeah. Oh, let's go, y'all. Get right, church. Get right, church. Get right, church, and let's go home. I'm going home on the morning train. On the morning train, y'all. I'm going home on the morning train. Oh, I'm going to fire you up today. I'm going home. Okay, see why. Hello to you. Welcome. Oh, I got news. It might be too late on the evening train. Oh, can you say that? I know it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I have a few things I want to discuss with you today. Now, what we have to do is we have to figure out if we're paying attention. I don't think we're paying attention. Now, I've been doing some studying around and checking things out, and you're not going to believe some of the things that I've seen. I'm going to tell you, sister, just hang on just a bit. Now, there's a bulletin that's been running across the news media now for about 2 hours. And it seems as though Mr. Vladimir Putin is at it again. It seems as though now that the treaty to hold nuclear arms has been abolished. Now, side for side, once again, Cold War style, seeing who's got the biggest gun. Well, now it's turned out to be an all-out threat that I think should not be taken lightly. Now, we have fact-checked this information, and it is real. I would not bring you anything that hadn't been fact-checked. Real, ladies and gentlemen. Hot off the press. I'm not the first one to get it. But I might be the first one to bring it to you because you got to hear this. Here it is. Russian President Vladimir Putin warned the United States against deploying new missiles in Europe, saying Russia will respond by fielding new weapons that will take just as little time to reach their targets. On Sunday night, Russian state TV went into specifics. Quote, "For now, we're not threatening anyone." Well, that would be a matter of opinion, right? Anybody could say that, right? They could threaten you at any time. Anybody at any time can threaten anybody. And yet they can say, well, I'm not threatening anybody. You know, they could say, man, if you don't quit that, I'm going to kill you. Okay, well, that sounds like a threat. So then when you get to them, you ask them, they say, no, I wasn't threatening. I just, something flew off my mind. So when the Russians say, for now, we're not threatening anybody. Liar, liar, pants on fire, hang them out on the Russian telephone wires. But with one T, which could have two, if such a deployment takes place, our response will be instant, warned Dmitry Kreslov, presenter of Russia's main weekly TV news show, Vesti Nedela. So, Mr. Vesti says, it's not a threat, but I want you to know our deployment is going to go down and we can take you out in a matter of minutes. We're not threatening you, we're just saying. Ladies and gentlemen, this is so prophetic. So prophetic, ladies and gentlemen. Prophecy tells us of this over and over again. Now, we're all waiting for the Psalm 83 war to take place in the Middle East, but it could start anywhere. Now, we have to understand that our president, the most revered Mr. President Donald Trump, he's not going to play politics. You're not going to be able to outguess President Trump. Just like he declared a national emergency the other day, warning, 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 no threat, just warning, until boom, he did it. So right now we're in the middle of a national emergency. That's not why my blog is on today. Although this national emergency is in effect, even a threat like this, ladies and gentlemen, could indeed bring a martial law without anything else being done. Already prepared. I continue. He identified these targets. Now, I don't know where you are in the United States, but I would ask you to pay attention to the identity of some of these targets. And if you're close to one of these targets, it ought to make you really think how secure you are. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we the people do not control the actions of the United States. We the people, even though we have a good president in President Trump, we still can't control the United States. Nobody's going to give us a say-so. Not by phone, not by letter, not by nothing. Nobody's going to tell us anything. Nor can we agree or disagree with what happens in the United States. Now, I pray that something happens and we, the people, get our power back that we're supposed to have, because this is the United States and it's we, the people. I'm getting on my soapbox. Anyway, this Russian guy, Vestav, named names. As you can see from the map above, oh, I'm sorry. This camera is going to show it backwards. I need to flip it around. That's the map he used. As you can see from the map above, Kreslov pointed to several presidential and military command centers, including the Pentagon, Camp David, Fort Ritchie in Maryland. Yes. McClellan, a closed Air Force base. So they say. And Jim Creek, a naval communications base in Washington State. Now, McClellan Air Force Base is in California, and it is supposed to be abandoned. But I bet it's not. Right? Somebody's got to know something. That doesn't matter. That's not in my conversation. What's in my conversation is that's one of the targets, which means anybody around that area, such as Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, could indeed be utterly destroyed by such a central location, along with those other areas. Kreslov, who once said Moscow could turn the U.S. into a radioactive ash, explained that the Trishkon hypersonic missile that Russia has developed could hit the targets in less than 5 minutes if launched from submarines. The United States, for its part, says it has no immediate plans to deploy such missiles in Europe and has, according to Reuters, dismissed Putin's warnings as disingenuous propaganda. The Kremlin, when asked about Kristov's report, told Reuters, "We don't know what anybody's talking about." Really? We don't know what they're talking about, Putin says. Who said what? Where? I don't know about all that. Don't believe it. What? Yeah, that's what he's saying. And guess what? He's lying. Lying, just bigger than all Billy Get Out. Lying. He knows, or it wouldn't have been said. Like the Cuban Missile Crisis, he said. You want a Cuban Missile Crisis? He said, we'll give you one. He said, I got a hypersonic missile that can hit my targets in 5 minutes. Now, let's take for instance, a hypersonic missile being launched from a submarine, say in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. First, it has to be confirmed, right? We, as a military United States, we can't just fire back our missiles because it could be a fake computer glitch. And we don't want to start nothing. That's what they say. So it has to be confirmed. Let's say it takes 60 seconds. Confirmation in 60 seconds by using satellites while the missile is already on the move. Let's say 120 seconds later, the confirmation goes out to Washington, D.C. There is a missile launched at the United States. Now, another 60 seconds goes as the confirmation is read to the president and explained to him. Another 120 seconds later, he pushes the emergency broadcast button. And all he can say is, impact in 60 seconds. Whatever happened to the 10-minute warning, the 15-minute warning? You better wake up and smell the coffee, ladies and gentlemen. That technology is way past. Way past. Climbed out of the baby carriage, gone to school, and died. We have a new technology that we're looking at today. The book of Daniel plainly tells us knowledge would increase, and we had no idea that it would increase till rockets could land in 5 minutes. So that's either going to require a 60-second notification if we get one, or an immediate confirmation without confirmation, and fire back to put our attack missiles, defense missiles on alert. And by the time they hit the sky, this hypersonic rocket is seconds away from its target. I'm talking about Putin. I'm not talking about us. Do we have something that powerful? I would think that we do. I would pray that we do. It's not really going to make any difference, though, is it? If they shoot 5 or 6 of those at one time, and we shoot 5 or 6 back, is that really going to make a difference for you and me, we the people? We're going to be annihilated by 2 idiots who don't have the intestinal fortitude to sit down and play chess. I'm bigger than you. My daddy's bigger than you. Lives are at stake. Now, the communist country and Vladimir Putin could care less about his people's destruction. And even if our president does, will he be able to save us? Or will the Antichrist pop his head up and stop the missiles in midair and save everybody? And pop up on the scene? Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one way to be saved, and that's Jesus Christ. You better wake up and smell the coffee, because there's no other way. Not any other way to the Father but the Son. Your soul is at stake, but it's waiting for you to receive Jesus Christ into your life. And you can get off that stake. You can save yourself from being burned at the stake by receiving Jesus Christ. Excuse me. Now, I don't necessarily intend for this to be a preaching episode, because my blogs are a little different, but still the true answer is Christ. It really is. He is the only answer for chaos and this dilemma. And like I said, what a great opportunity for the Antichrist to pop up and stop the missiles dead in their tracks and save the world from a nuclear holocaust. Get on national TV and claim himself to be Jesus, or Muhammad Daman, or Buddha Kuda Mula, or Looney Tooney Mooney. How many people would be stuck by the spirit of deception, delusion? You're going to have to stay on top of your toes, ladies and gentlemen, because either way, no matter what Khrushchev says, it was a threat. And the U.S. says, well, we're not going to deploy any missiles. Really? We're not going to put any missiles in Russia. Y'all calm down. Everything's okay. Really? I don't believe that. And I'm just a Vietnam veteran. Who am I? So if I don't believe it, you think Vladimir Putin believes it? No. And he's going to wait till the stage gets set, and then he's going to jump up on the stump. Just like President John F. Kennedy did on the Cuban Missile Crisis. This time, it'll be Vladimir Putin making his point. You have 24 hours to move, miss, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying it's a possible scenario. But this time the shoe seems to be falling off the other foot. The possibilities. The possibilities. The sad part is, from end times 4565 to you, the people, we the people, is we don't have a say-so. We don't have a say-so in any way, shape, fashion, or form. The old saying is, shut up, sit down, and ride, Clyde. I'm hungry. I'm hungry for we the people. Our voice and our vote should count. And not in the quote unquote political arena, but in all the arena of the United States living with other countries. Well, our vote is for someone who's going to fix it our way. No, you can't say that, because how many times do we vote for somebody that go to Washington and boom, they turn face on us? And then we can't do anything about a turncoat. Not anymore. We used to could go get that turncoat, straighten him out. Now you can't go against no turncoat. Take off his jacket and put on the jacket of the NWO and sit up there in Washington and bark a bunch of pig trash. Get up there and join the rest of the pigs in the slop of politics, running the country amok. I love you people. I love everyone. Everyone in the United States. I love you. You know why? Because we truly are Americans. That's why. Now, I don't care if you're conservative or liberals, we're Americans. And anybody's view, no matter where they stand, should be a moral view. Not an immoral view, a moral view. Respect for your neighbor. I respect you, you respect me. I can depend on you, you can depend on me. Because we're free Americans. And we have rights. Rights to stand free. Rights to stand. How many of you know what happened in Laredo today? How many of you know that they closed the bridge in Laredo to Mexico, going both ways? Because they heard of a surge of illegal immigrants headed for Laredo to rush the border. So they called in some troops and closed the bridge. And somehow the immigrants stopped in their tracks and didn't move. And the bridge was reopened at 2:30 Central Time, which is just down the road from me. Oh, we don't need a wall, Brother Ed. Ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing going on, Brother Ed. It was just a bunch of people, looking for a home. We're looking for a home. Like that boll weevil looking for a home. I'm looking for a home. And get in that cotton ball and destroy a whole crop. That happened today at the southern border in Laredo. Look it up. Fact check it. It's real. It's very real, ladies and gentlemen. And if we get inundated with illegal aliens Can we sit back? Can we sit back as the faithful, we the people few, and say, well, they're not supposed to be here, so kick them out? Well, we have to take them in because they're hungry. Well, first off, what they doing here and why they hungry? I busted my butt for my food. I don't get no free food from nobody. I worked for my food, ladies and gentlemen. According to the book, the Bible says, you don't work, you don't eat, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. Well, they're coming to work. Yeah, okay. Well, Americans won't take those menial jobs. I did. When I was living in the Northwest, I hoed onions. I was an irrigator. I run the water. Menial job, menial pay. I did it. And there are other Americans that'll do it. It's not who wants to do it. It's the farmer who wants to pay 50 cents a day to get the job done. He don't want to pay $10 an hour for a red-blooded American to earn his keep. No, they want to pay 50 cents a day, 25 cents a day, free tacos, a free house. Hey, come live in these shacks right here for free. It's a free. It's not the illegal immigrants, it's the farmers. Mostly Mormon farmers in the Northwest who do it. Condone it. "32 minutes already. Please forgive me for my rants. But I have one more thing to say, and this is not pretty at all. Now, I'm simulcasting right now on Mixlr.com, but it's not being recorded on Mixlr, so it won't be in the show reel, which is where my main location is. It's at Mixlr.com/N×4565. And then there's YouTube. And I don't record video anymore. I go live. I don't read a script. I'm telling you from my heart. I'm telling you from my heart the things that are important. Now let's take a quick look at what's happening in the United States. It's not all plush and beautiful as you would think. We have problems. Big problems. Ladies and gentlemen. And the Bible tells us, that in the last day there'll be pestilence. Well, let me say this to Lowe before I get on to this other rant. The immigrants are only bad because they want to swamp the United States in an illegal fashion. And my quote in question is, why would anybody want to invade a country in force in an illegal action? Now, that is the bad part. If anybody and everybody does as always and goes by the procedures, whatever they are, I have no problem. And if I said they were bad people, I take that back. What's bad is their forceful entry illegally into the United States. Somewhere we have to get control of the flow. Somehow. We're not talking about 600, 500 people. We're talking 10 to 20,000 people when it's all said and done. Too many. Too many, ladies and gentlemen. We've got enough problems in the United States. And I see that Badger Low continues to rant by saying the Chinese and the Irish, they built a great railway, laying 10 miles of track in one day. That's beautiful. But they weren't illegal. If you fact check that, you'll see this. All registered with work visas. I have no problem with that. None at all. It's the illegal swamping of a country that's wrong. And the United States should have more sense about our freedom than we're exposing right now. So let's go through our neighborhood and let's take a poll and see what we, the people, think about this. About an invasion into your community. If anybody has any logical sense, they're going to say no. No, I don't want to give them $3,000 a month. No, I don't want to give them free medication. No, I don't want to give them free education when I'm paying school tax every time it comes around, blah, 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 this and that. My medical bills are going higher and higher. No, I don't want to give them welfare and my Social Security. I'm just talking about what the people might say. Well, we can't stop them. Let's go ahead and take them. Okay. Let's do that. And then let's say that when they get here, they begin to crumble our economy and kill. I'm not saying they're killers, but they begin to kill, and it's too late. What if they come in and they're nice, peaceful, hardworking, faring people, and every one of them comes clean? Denounce MH13, 16, 14, and 15. Denounce all their gang influences and denounce all of the drug cartels' work. Well, that would be a different situation. You know what I mean? Now, Venezuela is all about the oil, period. I worked at the Citgo refinery when it was bought by Venezuela. When America owned Citgo refinery, everything was cool and safety was high. But when the Venezuelans bought Citgo, and Citgo belonged to South America, in particular Venezuela, the refinery went to poop in a basket. Safety was on the basket. Everything was in the basket. People was getting killed and dying, like me right now, because of the exposure to the chemicals, because the Venezuelans could give a squat about safety. Just push the oil, make that diesel, make that gas, go, make that jet fuel, make that, go. So for us, it's all about the oil. It ain't got nothing to do with the people, nothing to do with saving nobody, nothing to do with humanity, nothing to do with a humanitarian crisis. All of that's a farce. The main goal is black gold. Now, I really want to get to this next rant. 40 minutes already. I don't know how you're hanging on, but God bless you. Listen. This is a quote. America is on the verge of rat apocalypse. Bobby Corrigan is the rat master. Some call him the rat czar. Others, he's simply a rodentologist. NBC called him one of the nation's leading experts on rats. Call him what you want, he's mostly alarmed. He said, I, quote, travel all over the world with this animal, and the amount of complaints and feedback and questions I hear right now are all, we've never seen rats in the city like this before. And he said, they're all expressing the same concern, that our rat problem is worse than ever. Washington, D.C. Well, we don't have to read the news to see that there's rats in Washington, D.C. Huh? Calling it a rat problem, a rodent crisis. Huh? Disease-ridden critters are not only growing in number, but ballooning to the size of human infants. Houston, New York, Chicago, Boston, Philadelphia, Detroit, San Francisco, Los Angeles. "61% in Chicago, rats versus people. 67% in Boston, rats versus people. 174% in San Francisco, more rats than people. Why? Because of the trash and squalor and filth in the streets. In the streets of LA, in the streets of San Francisco, which I've seen with my own two eyes. I've been to LA, I've been to Frisco, I've preached in the streets, I've seen hell formed wide open in my face in the streets of San Francisco. Squalor, human feces, trash, garbage, rats, huge. Forget about the sewers. They've come out of the sewers. They're living on top of the ground. Los Angeles is making plans to demolish City Hall. Demolish it and rebuild it because of the rat infestation that can't be stopped. Imagine being a bailiff in a Los Angeles court, wearing your gun, not for the criminals, but to shoot the rats because they're running through the courthouse at random. Filth in the streets, homeless people by the thousands now, laying in the streets, pumping up their arms, shoving needles in there and getting them drugs, heroin, methamphetamines, and now fentanyl. The other day, some illegal immigrants were caught trying to go across the border. And one of them was carrying 7.5 pounds of fentanyl, enough to kill 4 million people. Oh, well, it's okay. No, it's not okay. Now they're using this fentanyl to cut the heroin. And fentanyl is over 100 times more powerful. So the drug, he gets his heroin and he burns it in the spoon and melts it down, sucks it up in a syringe and pops it in his arm, thinking the same amount will do when he's overdosing because it's cut with fentanyl, which is 100 times more dangerous than the heroin that he's taking. And he doesn't know it. And he's dying. 500,000 people in the United States dying and growing. In the streets, homeless, taking these drugs. Los Angeles passed a law saying it's no longer illegal to use the bathroom on the sidewalk because there was so much going on they couldn't hold them all, so the heck with it. Go ahead and poop if you need to poop. People squatting all over the place. Dropping toadstools all over the beautiful city of Los Angeles and San Francisco. Can't hire enough people to keep it cleaned up, and the rats are living in the squalor, and they're increasing. Listen to this. It's out of control, ladies and gentlemen. Already, ladies and gentlemen, sickness has arrived from the rats. Who can tell me in the chat right now, who can tell me what was the biggest plague in the United States in the 1800s? What was it? Who could tell me? The biggest plague that killed the most people, killed the babies. The Black Plague, the bubonic plague. Where did it come from? From the rats. The rats, ladies and gentlemen. Black Death, cholera, smallpox, all from the rats. I'm sorry, didn't mean to yell. And now, across this land, we're being infested with rats. Did you know that 2 healthy rats in a warm environment in 2 years can birth over 1 million babies? 10 and 10 have 20, and 20 have 10, and they have 10 more, and 10 and 10 and 10 and 10 and 10, until over 1 million rats from 2 rats. When we're talking millions and millions loose in the big cities around this country, nobody's talking about it. Why? Where's the mainstream media? We're in trouble. The United States is in trouble with infestation and filth. Forget about the filth on the internet. We have a literal squalor in our streets. How embarrassing. Where's we the people? I saw the interview on television in Los Angeles. And they said, well, nobody cares about us. There's no help. And then they showed a ministry on the side of the road with a folding table with food and paper plates and a line that went 2 blocks long. And they were feeding the people decent foods. A few people with a card table. That's all you need. You don't need some big truck with your ministry name on the side of it. Just get out there and get the job done. Tell somebody about Jesus. They're the druggies. So what? Jesus Christ has the power to burst the hold of any drug in the world. You show me somebody that'll give their life to Jesus with all their heart, soul, body, and mind, and I'll show you someone that'll be delivered instantly from the bondage and the chains and the shackles of any drug in the world, and I can promise you it's a fact. Rehab center's okay, but Jesus is your best bet all the time, every time. And if you don't believe that, it's because you ain't never tried none. Jesus goes beyond our understanding and reasoning. And in these end times, I believe America's going to fall from the inside. You let cholera break out. Just let it break out. Let the plague break out. Now I know this isn't good news. Why isn't somebody saying something? Oh, we want to hand out new fresh needles. Why don't you hand out some new fresh Bibles? Some new fresh food? Huh? Why doesn't somebody that's rich and have money and is a Christian rent a bunch of portable toilets and put them out and have them cleaned out every day? Give me a break. Come on, somebody. Oh, well, they're just homeless trash. Really? We got a problem in our own borders, in our own cities, and we're willing to bring in more problems, more homeless, more squalor, more filth. Ain't nobody thinking. What if a tsunami hit Los Angeles and San Francisco and washed them out to sea? What a stinking mess it would be. You have no idea, ladies and gentlemen. The war in our own borders. I'm telling you, the war in our own borders is filth and squalor. And the devil is slowly pushing it until we become consumed in our own filth. Nobody wants that. You don't want it. Do you want that in your streets? In your nice little community? What would you do if you saw 5,000 people laying in the streets in your community, throwing their filth out in the streets and defecating on the sidewalks and stinking up the neighborhood in a squalor, drawing the rats? Would you jump up and say something? I would. I would go and yell and shout to the leaders as one of the we the people and say, what the heck is going on around here? It's coming to a neighborhood near you. Get ready. Get ready, 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 ladies and gentlemen. The prophetic battle is about to begin. And 54 minutes later, I say to you, we need to pray for the United States. We need to pray for America. We need to pray for we the people, that we could wake up and do something about our serious problem here in the United States alone. Children disappearing by the hundreds every day. Where they going? We're in trouble. Russia wants to threaten us. But we have a bigger threat going on right here in our own borders. If you live by one of these big cities, I dare you to drive down the streets of the homeless and video it with your phone and put it on YouTube. Make this rant go viral. People are dying every few minutes. Please, let's help them. We the people, if we can stand together and save a city from Katrina, we can come together and save a city from their filth and their infestations, to help them and to help us, because we don't want the cholera. We don't want the Black Plague. Spread the agape love of God. He healed leprosy. Lepers were healed. Nothing too big for God. The only problem is the people just don't care. Heavenly Father, right now, I pray for the United States. I pray for the people here in the United States, we the people. Lord, I pray for everyone, liberals and conservatives alike. Lord, that we could be woke up to our severe battle we're facing in the United States. The fight against our own filth and mire. And Lord, give us the strength to trust one another again, that we could bond together and go out and help clean up the streets and give the homeless hope. Help us, Lord, empower us with the power of the Holy Ghost, that when we witness in power. Save our country, Lord. Save our country from the invasion of the demonic co-conspirators. Save us, the people, Lord. Protect us and provide. As we stand in these last hours and fight for you, Jesus, by bringing your precious word of love and grace and hope. In Jesus' name. Ladies and gentlemen, there's hope. There's hope for you. And that hope is Jesus. So if you think I'm a fanatic, why don't you try it out for yourself? Unless you're just too scared. But I'm going to tell you, the only hope America has is not a man. A Savior is what we have. And his name is Jesus. And we need to get right.